Glasgow, Scotland's largest city and the third largest city in the United Kingdom. Spanning across 175 kilometres in size, it is home to a wide variety of cultural events, famous architecture, and is Scotland's largest economy driver. What approaches from the comparable cities around the globe could the City of Sydney adopt to overcome the issues of social housing supply? What is social housing? Social housing provides relief to those in need by reasons of age, ill health, disability, financial hardship, or other disadvantages through the provisions of construction, improvement, management of land, accommodation, and the provision of care. Glasgow is thought to have the highest share of social housing throughout any other city in Britain. This was a result of the post-industrial era, when housing legislation emerged in the early 20th century to compensate poor housing quality, overcrowding, and to improve the individual's well-being. The local council had a small budget to construct large quantities of new social housing estates, which led to the social housing to be developed along the city centre edges. This was away from employment, services, and amenities. Living conditions became a positive outlook as tenants could no longer be unexpectedly evicted, nor did their rent increase drastically. However, issues soon arose when poor building ventilation produced mold and dampness. What once was a resolution to social housing had quickly turned into a slum area. The early 1980s saw Glasgow City Council transfer all social housing stock to the newly established community-based housing organisations. Both Glasgow City and the City of Sydney have similar government structures. Social housing is either owned or maintained by the local council or housing association, which are funded at a federal level. The shortage of housing supply affects both cities undoubtedly, as both cities face prolonged waiting lists with applicants trying to find suitable accommodation. A population shift is one of the main causes for the shortage of stock, as tenants occupy social housing mid to long term. Population growth also meant migration to the city centres for services and employment, which is appealing for asylum seekers and professional workers. But it was the rising cost of living that became the reason why social housing tenants tend to remain in government assisted housing. Glasgow has implemented 8 solutions to help overcome the social housing issues. They are housing products, transformational regeneration areas, Scottish housing quality standards, housing needs and demand assessment, positive partnership, migration to rural areas, pension funds, and concordat government. The Scottish Government have decided to abolish the right to buy scheme on the 1st of August 2016. This will result in promoting fairness and to restabilise uneligible tenants, retain number of social housing stock for lifetime use, reduce the waiting list, continue maintenance and repairs, and produce less administration workload. 8 transformational regeneration areas will make over communities by delivering new build commercial and residential stock with energy efficient initiatives, community facilities, encourage tourism and economy. This will provide better living conditions. The purpose of Scottish housing quality standards is to ensure that housing standards remain habitable for tenure use. The housing needs and demand assessment is viewed as an instrument for solution strategies, as local councils within the region create achievable targets and action plans. The targets consider appropriate quality and quantity housing needs applicable to those local government areas. Implementing the Glasgow housing strategy through partnerships will secure investment, create different approaches, and drive restoration to urban developments for future uses. Partnerships can also improve access to health, housing, social care, and not-for-profit services. The success story of East Kilbride urban to rural migration provides an analytic approach which can be applied to other local areas in the city facing similar issues of undersupply or poor condition. The implementation of the local government pension scheme fund for social and affordable housing is a positive outcome, especially for the local councils facing budget reductions. The local government pension scheme guarantees low risk, long-term investment return for a multi-asset portfolio. A concordat agreement between each government level will ensure national objectives are being met and delivered. It also allows for the lower government levels to provide a more suitable service and resolutions at a community level. Social housing strategies aim is to promote equality, accommodation, and reduce social inclusions. Past social experiments and implementation of strategies provide local councils barriers to adopt to help secure social housing supply for the future. Cost benefits provide local councils and housing associations income that can be reinvested back into the community. Throughout this video, we have seen Glasgow City Council adopt, initiate, and adapt 8 solutions to help overcome the issues of undersupply in social housing. These solutions are adaptable for the city council, effectively practiced in which will help improve social, economic, and environmental health to the community.